you notice the world is just kind of going all over the
Yeah.
place, and they have their own agenda, whatever. And you just have to, like, if your course is here, just stay on your course.
Okay. Ryan, what's going on, man?
Raging Fujin.
What's up, dude?
Hey, what up, man?
Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Yeah. Hey, again, thanks again for doing this. I really appreciate it.
I'll turn on the ring light. Maybe I have more light.
Perfect.
Let me see. Is that better?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Somewhat.
Cool deal. Yeah, you got the setup going on, man.
Yeah, man. It's a busy week.
It's crazy. I see every time I see another video of yours, there's like more equipment and shit in the background, dude. It's getting crazy.
Oh yeah. I'm working on a lot of different stuff right here.
I see that. I see.
Just got done working out.
Nice, man.
The new bench press.
Nice, man.
Some upper chest and making some videos, and now I'm doing. I gotta go do an out call right now.
Sweet. Yeah. Are you still doing that? Like I remember you were like helping set up like stages and stuff. Are you still kind of doing that, or?
Yeah. Tonight I'm running a spotlight for a concert or something like that.
Nice, man. Nice. Okay. Well, I mean, I'll just give you an overview and then we'll jump right into it. Like I said, like my professor's wanting us to do like these informational interviews, talk to like entrepreneurs and all that kind of stuff. I'm personally going into marketing. So they're just having us reach out to people, kind of in that industry and ask how they do it. And you've kind of done a lot of it. So I figured a good place to start would be to get you on the line, man. So there's a lot of us in the class. They potentially may like have a couple for like display. If you're all right with that, I can do that. If you don't want to do that, we don't have to do that. It's
no,
totally
I'm just making sure. All right. Well, if I see what is up class and everybody who's watching this.
Sweet. Right on. Cool deal. Well, yeah, I'll get right into it, man. You've done a lot. You're an author. And if I keep looking, it's because I have my notes here so I can kind of stay on track. You're an author, soaper, pickup artist, content creator, musician, and ultimately, an entrepreneur. Kind of a jack in all trades. Your first hit being that kind of, from at least to my knowledge, that soaping video that was in PacSun and like all that kind of stuff. How did kind of starting doing like professional soaping, and if you want to like explain what that is in the beginning, and then and how has it kind of led you to where you're at now?
They're in the other room here, but let me see.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's from. If you don't know what soaping is, it's these special shoes right here with plastic plates on the bottom, and you can slide on stuff like skateboarding, but without a skateboard. And it was pretty popular in the 90s, in the late 90s.
Sick. Right on, man. Very cool. Did that kind of help you like lead you to where you're at? I know you kind of have your book like Soap or Die. You like kind of have all that stuff. Is that kind of just an independent thing, or did that kind of put you to where you're at now?
That's a long story. Let's see if I can make it short.
Cool.
I was rollerblading. I wanted to kind of be the best at rollerblading, but I started much later. It would have took me several more years to get to the level of where the best guys in the world were at that time.
Sure.
Soap shoes magically shows up out of nowhere. Nobody's ever heard of them. It's a brand new product. I already know how to slide down rails in my rollerblades, so I get an idea in my head that's like, well, I would be one of the pioneers of this. If I take this serious and take it to a whole new level, then I could be the best in the world at that. And who knows, if the company blew up, like I had suggested, if they had advertised and they got the shoes in Toys R Us and Foot Locker, they wouldn't have just been a $20 million company. They would have been a $200 million company, but they wanted to keep it very underground.
Okay.
And so it just never became a mainstream sport. And so, of course, and they didn't really care about helping us to become professionals. Their view was like, walking down the street, walking from point A to point B is not a sport. We're not going to like put you guys' names in the videos. And so it made like a little bit of money, which was cool in high school, but ultimately it just didn't take off the way that I thought it was going to. And ultimately I got fired, which led me into like going into getting more serious into music. And
sweet.
In order to do that, I had to go to the Navy to get my GI Bill paid for so I could go to school and be a recording engineer. And anyway, all of that basically led me to my other job, kind of like that I'm doing now, I work at all the arenas and the stadiums in Las Vegas doing all kinds of audio video stuff. Every day is different. I run a spotlight for the Golden Knights. I just did the Stanley Cup a couple months ago.
Right on.
Tonight I'm doing like a concert. I might be on a mixing board. I might be hanging lights 100 feet up in the ceiling in the arenas for the concerts. And so that's like a 6-figure job on the side. And then I also have my dating coaching business. And then of course with that, it's writing books to promote that, making YouTube videos. Right. And a lot of stuff doing coaching calls that would be kind of similar to this video coaching calls where I've been charging guys. And so all of this all together, basically as an entrepreneur, it's like all of these little money-making ventures all end up going to the same bank account. And at the end of the year, it adds up.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of what I want to touch on the most. I appreciate that background. Is like your big thing right now is the dating coach stuff and like all that kind of stuff. And I do think it's pretty impressive how it's, you've continued to go several books, like all that kind of stuff. How is your content overall? Because like, as you know, as we've talked about before, like I've been following your content for like a while, man. How has it changed, from when it started to now? Like what are the necessary changes you've had to make? Like I know you have anywhere from like hanging out with your friends to like cooking videos to the dating advice. Like how have those changes kind of come about?
Yeah, I think technology has changed it a lot, like especially even in this last year, in the last 2 years, basically with the growth of AI technology, that's really changed a lot of my workflow. Now, I've discovered all of these little AI apps that are basically allowing me to take my old content, and for one example, there's an AI that will quadruple the size of your images and maintain
the quality,
the same or quality, or to upscale or enhance it. And so some of my old books, like the Pro Soper book, I'm basically taking all the old images from the 90s that were like from a 480p camera, and I'm being able to put them up into HD or UHD quality.
Sweet.
And so I'm actually redoing the Pro Soper book into a new 10-year anniversary edition.
Sick.
Where all the images are scaled and all the colors are going to be brighter and more saturated. And the AI is helping to redraw a lot of the images that were like pixelated.
Okay.
And there's like another program that will, for example, if like the eyes or your face are pixelated, it will kind of redraw the face.
Oh, sweet.
And it will look better or more attractive than you were in the first picture, which
Sick.
Is also changing my dating coaching stuff, because now I'm getting clients that are having me fix up their Tinder and their Bumble and their Hinge profiles. And they're like, hey, I have shitty pictures.
Right.
They can the picture, and then I can AI enhance their picture. I can swap the background out. I can basically make them look like a model instead of the shitty like selfie that they took.
Yeah.
And that's enhancing attractiveness on their Tinder, which is helping them to get dates and more sex from
Absolutely.
harder.
Absolutely, man. And that's also like, I think it's a very like unique field to get into. What brings you to, do you think like it's the environment, like being in Vegas and all that kind of stuff? I mean, what kind of brought you to that?
Vegas is definitely a good place for dating, because you're dealing with people as an international city, and it's one of the fastest growing cities in the world, and it's only getting bigger. They just put in a new 18,000 person arena called the Sphere, and they're building another mega sports arena that's another like $5 billion. We're getting a baseball team, and it's just basically becoming the new Los Angeles, and the sports mecca of the world.
Sweet.
And it's drawing people internationally from all over the world. So you're dealing with not just like locals, like if I was living in the middle of Montana or something. I'm dealing with women from all over the world and guys from all over the world. And
sure,
guys want to come here and get laid, but they don't know what they're doing.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So it's good for them to grab someone who knows what they're doing and can teach them how to approach and meet women and close phone numbers and set up dates and get laid. And
sweet.
So it's like a really good home base for that.
Nice. But, that totally makes sense. Thanks, man. That's perfect.
Ideally, you were talking about technology changing. Eventually, my goal is to be able to take my business if it gets bigger, and ideally, the dream for me would be to be able to travel anywhere in the world with just my laptop. I could be living out of hotels. I could be on the beach. I could be in a hammock on a tropical island.
Sweet.
And still doing coaching to anyone in the world. And I believe they call it like remote employment or remote coaching or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then someone could pay in money and say, hey, I want a coaching call with you. And I could be like in the Caribbean in a hammock sipping some drinks.
Yeah.
With beautiful women in bikinis around me.
Absolutely.
And I get to be on my laptop, doing coaching calls, making money.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna travel to the next place. So that's kind of a dream of mine. And I think for entrepreneurs all over the world, they can do that with any business, whether they're trading Bitcoin or doing stocks, bonds, anything like that.
Sure.
And you could take that same concept. You're working remotely, like wherever you want. A buddy of mine, for example, he was traveled to France, and he builds websites.
Oh, sweet.
For people, so he can do that anywhere in the world as long as he has his laptop and internet connection. So he was in France building some guy's website. The guy sent him $4,000. He built it there, hung out for a couple of weeks in some hotel, and then he traveled to some other place, and some other guy paid him another $4,000, and he's just traveling around doing that. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty awesome. Because of the internet and because of technology, something like that is available. And they didn't really have that in the 90s when we didn't have internet and things like that.
Right. I definitely think it's feasible. More and more people are doing it. And that's definitely how, I think that was one of the first video calls we did, was a remote session. So, I mean, it definitely works. Now, obviously, with changing technology, it's just new problems and all that kind of stuff. And as someone who's been doing it a long time, man, what challenges have you run into, starting these ventures? What's kind of the main thing to look out for if you're looking to go out and start your own deal and kind of be self-sufficient?
Maybe because there's just so much going on, you kind of have to put blinders on and get rid of distractions in the world and just be focused in like a laser to what you're doing, and not really get off track where the newest trend on TikTok comes up and people might be inclined to jump off of what they're doing onto some new trend or some new idea.
Got it.
I don't know how many times I'm super involved in what I'm doing, and there's no chance of me going off my course. I'm just focused in like a laser. It doesn't matter. I think of a ship going from one place to another. If there's a big storm, the ship doesn't move around. It just battens down the hatches and continues towards its destination. And a lot of people will be like, well, why do you keep doing this dating? Oh, that stuff is kind of played out. Why don't you, mine Bitcoin? Why don't you do this? Yeah. Why don't you do that? And I'll just keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And over time, as you see the progression, it just gets bigger. I think, people aren't really focused in. They don't see the constant improvement. And, and you could do that with anything, whether it's music or sports, as long as you just keep focused on what you're doing and not worrying what other people are doing, you're going to continue to progress.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think that's very well put, especially with the TikTok example. A lot of people see the latest trend or dance or audio, and they're so willing to jump and to do that and participate in that. But it's a lot like investing in stocks or something like that. The saying is once you see it on the news, it's already too late. And I guess that's kind of the same thing. You jump on a popular trend, and who knows, you could have then diverted your attention. Whereas if you would have stayed your course, now the new trend is what you were already doing, and you could have been a front runner. But instead, you decided to hop on the train, and now you've missed it. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Now, obviously, you had a very unique chance. I guess early for most people, but in the lifespan of every time you've been doing this, it might have been pretty late in. But you had that pretty big deal with H3H3, one of the big content creators on YouTube at the time, taking your page and what you were doing and kind of promoting it. And yeah, he was joshing around a little bit. You know what I mean? You guys went out and did your videos, but still at the end of the day, how did getting because everybody has their moment, right? A big influx of somebody like that, grabbing or getting you attention. How are you able to take that attention and use it to improve what you were doing? And is there something that you would maybe suggest to someone now, let's say they start content creating or they start making, doing whatever, and they get a big break where someone with millions of followers features their stuff? Is there something that you wish you would have known to do or something like that to boost even further?
With that, a lot of people sometimes they'll make fun of it or whatever, but they don't understand behind the scenes.
It was still
we're
fun.
All entertainers. We're all
absolutely.
We're all trying to
you can't take
generate
it personal.
Traffic.
Yeah,
and that wasn't something that just aspired. We had talked on the phone.
Yeah,
I know that his channel is made to make fun of pickup artists or dating
whatever. It's I don't know what he's doing anymore. I don't really.
But he knows it's kind of exchange. Hey, I want to poke fun at you because my audience wants comedy.
Yeah.
I know that you want exposure.
Absolutely.
You know, and also he wants to make sure that he didn't get sued like the other guy who tried to sue him, who was the parkour guy who, you know, he got real butthurt about it. And so not only is he like, I'm offering you a lot of exposure. I've got, he had like 2 million followers on his channel at the time. He's a lot bigger now. But he's like, you're gonna be seen in front of like 2 million people, and I want to give you $500.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a big win for me.
Absolutely.
And basically that video ended up getting like 8 million views. And so that having, you know, a video like that with so many views, that's a lot. That's instant authority, credibility, where they're like, okay, this guy's like legit. He's, you know, they might not agree with everything in the video, but they can tell like I'm not just the average guy like posting on Craigslist or something like that. And now his audience, for example, is mostly like 12-year-old, 14-year-old kids. They're not buying, you know, $2,000 dating coaching packages. They're not the audience that's gonna buy that from me anyway.
Sure, absolutely.
The audience that isn't gonna watch that video. So it's kind of like there isn't it's not interchangeable.
Were you able to like generate that traffic, even though it wasn't directly someone who's interested in buying pickup lessons or something like that, into something that benefited you?
Because it's more like these, like a client will say like, oh, okay, you know, like, let me see your resume. What have you done? I have 8 million views on H3. I've been on the cover of this magazine, blah, blah, blah. Which is right up there. And no one's going to sit down and read the article. The people aren't going to sit down and watch a goofy H3 video, but they see the credibility.
Yes.
And that's going to force someone to pull out the credit card.
Absolutely.
And buy your product.
Right on, man.
You're okay. Basically turn that exposure into cash.
That's perfect. That's perfect, man. So then, I mean, what's next? You know, you're kind of doing a lot. Like, what's on the docket? Are you just improving your pickup game? Are you generating new music? Are you like, what is there something we don't even know about yet? Like like you're doing your cooking videos for a while. Like, is there something like that's next on the plate that you're planning to release here pretty soon?
Right now, I have 2 new books that I wrote that'll be coming out in 2024. A dating advice book for women, and then an actual book for people who want to be dating coaches or life coaches or entrepreneurs or anything. And it's basically how to convert your content into like a 6-figure business from home. It's called So You Want to Be a Dating Coach. And I already wrote those books, and I need to edit them, and it's going to take at least 6 months to a year. But my main priority right now is recovering. I had a stroke in January where I was paralyzed on my whole left side. I was in the hospital for a month.
Really?
And so I had to go to rehab to like relearn how to walk. And just as of this last month, I can stand on one foot again. So most of this last year, I've been working just at my desk and doing like little spotlight gigs at my other job so that I could make money, but at the same time be sitting down and not overexerting myself. And now, like I said, I'm just getting back into working out. So my main priority is like recovering from that. You know, people, you know, I'm lucky to be alive.
Absolutely, man. I didn't hear anything about that. I'm pretty like avid on this.
I only like really talked about it with friends and family and stuff like that. And I've only made like one social media post, but I'm actually going to talk about it more because it, you know, it can happen to anyone. You know, whether you're an athlete or whether you're just, you know, a workaholic. It's kind of something that I'm going to talk about in the future or something like that. But anyway, that's kind of like my main thing is working on recovering, getting back in shape, because it also sitting around for the last year, not being able to exert myself. Obviously, I've put on some weight, and that's going to limit my physical attractiveness for picking up women. That's going to, you know, social media is all about looks. So if you don't making the cut, then people aren't, you know, they're not even paying attention to your content. You know,
and that's huge. Like, we're doing a lot of like LinkedIn stuff right now, and they're like, like 74%, some an astronomical number of like employers are just like picking up off of like your profile picture alone. And I'm sure the same thing can be, you know, put into terms of like the dating scene. Like, just the first image is like what people are gonna, you know, be attracted to you or decide to, you know, pursue you.
Yeah, that's why I haven't been doing like a lot of content, because my face is like a lot fatter right now, and I don't want to give on, because it's like I can put in all the effort to make the content. But then if the thumbnail, you don't look attractive in the thumbnail, people just swipe anyway.
Well, dude, just start doing that. Dude, some of the, like, we watch them, like, still to this day, like, the most, like, entertaining, like, videos. I think, dude, we love the cooking videos, man. Honestly, like, probably one of my big disappointments is, like, you didn't do more of that. Like, I really enjoyed those.
I'd like to do more. It's just that it's such, to do a cooking video isn't just the cooking. It's also like going out, buying the product, shopping, cleaning the whole kitchen, setting up the camera. Then you're going to cook. And then afterwards,
tear it all down.
You have to clean up all the mess and put everything away. So it's like a 2-day venture just to make a 30-minute video. And it doesn't generate enough views or enough YouTube revenue for me to really do that. Dang. Although I might do like a fettuccine Alfredo one in the future and a couple other ones. But that's why in my book, I put a bunch of cooking recipes.
Okay.
Something I was trying to add in is custom-made videos. The way a lot of girls on OnlyFans, they're now doing a thing where, like, let's say a guy has a certain type of fantasy where he's like, I want to see you with a dildo, and I want the camera from above on the room, and I want you to have like a pink bedspread. And it'll be like a completely custom-made video, and then the girl will be like, okay, well, give me $500 or give me $2,000. The guy will basically cash app her the money, and then she'll make him a custom-made video of exactly what he wants. And that's what I want to add in the future, where I could be like, okay, send me $100 and I'll make a video with, wearing a chef hat and make fettuccine Alfredo or something like that.
Okay.
It would be kind of like a side, hustle.
That's kind of tight, actually. Yeah, absolutely. Anyway. Well, yeah, right on, man. Man, I think that's all the questions I have for the class. Like, we can still chill for a minute if you want, but like, before we end, like, do you have anything like overarching that you want to say that you kind of want to leave with everybody with, just kind of like a summary of, being an entrepreneur or something like that. And then at the end, like anything you want to plug, anything, I'll obviously have your credentials, pretty easy to find. But anything like that.
Like I said, I think best advice for like people that are entrepreneurs or wanting to get into that is really just a mindset thing, and kind of just, notice the world is just kind of going all over the place, and they have their own agenda, whatever. And you just have to, like, if your course is here, just stay on your course.
Absolutely.
And don't, what is the word, negate or like defer from your goal. Really, you got to stay focused on that.
Sure.
And it's not necessarily going to happen overnight. I kind of like to call it like this concept I create called chiseling, which is like, Rome wasn't made in a day, or the pyramids weren't made in a day. But if you chisel away, 30 minutes here, right when you wake up in the morning, get coffee, work an hour on your stuff, and then over the course of, let's say, 6 months, 8 months, or a year, your new product will eventually manifest, or the new business that you're trying to run. Or for me, like, it's a new book. I didn't write any of those books in one day. They happen over the course of a year or several years, but like I chisel away at it a little bit every day.
Sure. No, and I think that's huge, especially for like even me, like I like being a student, like going to school and like working and like all that kind of stuff, and then like obviously on the side, like I want to do my thing, like with like whether it be like music or like creating content or videos and all that kind of stuff. Like I think like, okay, like, well, I want to make this video, blah 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 blah, but like in my head I have a lot, like, okay, it's going to take me like 2 hours. Oh, I don't have 2 hours, I'll have to do it tomorrow. Whereas I think that might help is wake up like 30 minutes earlier before you go to work and just like slowly piece away at it. I think a lot of people could benefit from that.
That's that's the workflow that I've been using. I think when I really started doing this more seriously since like 2011, 2012. Elon Musk says it's calls it focus blocks of time, and I think Jeff Bezos calls it your high IQ state, which is like right when you wake up in the morning, you have your coffee, you're at your highest like point of cognition.
Yeah,
and that's when it's like you're going to do the best work, and then through the day you just kind of fade out. So
absolutely.
For me, my workflow is like basically as soon as I wake up, I'm pouring coffee and I'm on the computer and I'm typing and I'm doing like my high IQ stuff for 1 hour. And then once that alarm rings, then I take a break. Then I, go walk around the block or eat some food or something like that to kind of refresh. And then I do another focus block of time for like another hour. But that's just how I've done it. And I've been able to like, I don't know, I've written over 60 books now, and in time, more and more things manifest. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, right on, man. No, thank you for that. I mean, that about wraps up everything I have for the interview.
Cool.
But yeah, dude. Yeah, thanks for again.
I gotta get into my call right now.
Sweet. Well, hey, again, I appreciate it, man. And then let's link up for something.
Dope, man.
For real, bro. All right, bro. Yeah. Yeah. See you later, man.
Catch you later, bro.
See ya.